Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Camp Akalaka info session for 2020 Camp Akalaka. Today, we have a lot of information for you regarding safety procedures, daily camp activities, what to expect, along with a lot more. So, to get us started, we're going to go ahead and jump in. So welcome everyone. I just want to make sure everyone who is live and joining us right now mutes their lines. If you do have a question, go ahead and use the chat window on your right there, and you'll be able to submit a question to us privately, and we will answer at the end of the meeting. Yeah, so we'll jump right in there. All righty. Let's see. I have Michelle Schumacher here. She's going to talk a little bit more about Camp Akalaka. Let me unmute you here.
Can you hear me?
You're good to go.
Okay, so I'm Michelle Schumacher. I'm the branch executive director of the Malone YMCA, and I'm happy that we're doing this. We're very excited for a wonderful camp season, and we look forward to informing you of all of the fun camp things we have planned, as well as the safety precautions we're taking for this unique camp season. And to start us off, I would like to introduce Mr. Justin Ein, the CEO of the Plattsburgh YMCA, to say a few words. Take it away, Justin.
All right, I think I'm unmuted now, so thank you for everybody on the call and everybody who's going to listen to this later that maybe couldn't make today's call. Thanks for doing this. This is certainly a very interesting time for us. But what you're going to hear today is from the experts. You're going to hear from the staff that live and breathe the YMCA and child care programs each and every day. And we'll be able to answer questions and get you all the information you need. But first off, I just want to let you know a couple of things. Number one, I grew up as a Y guy and as a camper, right? I went to camp every summer. And the summertime experience is such an important one and something that I have the most fondest memories of as a kid. So when we were given the go-ahead to run camp this summer, we as a staff were just so elated and so happy that we're going to be able to run programming all across the North Country. We're doing it in 3 different counties, 6 different camps. And we're extremely excited about that. Of course, we're going to do it safely, and we're going to make sure that we're providing the best program we can, and of course, have the kids have a lot of fun as well. A couple of things to note. We've been planning camp since last year when camp ended. We haven't stopped. January came around, we were planning. When everything kind of took a pause, if you will, with the COVID epidemic or pandemic, we continued to plan, and we've been doing such up until this point, and we still have a couple of things to do before camp starts on the 29th. The great thing is that all of the precautions that we put into place since this all started have been approved by the health department and by the CDC and by our local officials and our network of YMCAs that we have great access with throughout all of this. So our planning is right on par, and in a lot of cases have exceeded the expectations of what we're being asked to do as a YMCA offering summer camps. So that is very encouraging, and also tremendous kudos to the staff out in Malone. Great leadership from Michelle Schumacher, and great leadership coming from her team out there to be able to provide an incredible summer program. So with that, I will turn it back over to Brandon and to her team, and they'll go through exactly what you're going to need to know. And again, if you have questions, put it in the chat box, and we'll make sure to answer all of those questions today. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Justin, for all of that great information. I'm going to hand this over to Michelle, and she's going to talk a little bit more about the Camp Akalaka. I believe she's actually out at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and jump on back in. So Camp Akalaka this year will be open to children ages 5 to 12 from June 29th to August 21st, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Malone Civic Center here in Malone. If you have any other questions, you can, like Justin said, you can submit them in the chat box and we can answer them at the end. Our weekly rate for Camp Akalaka will be $145 a week, and financial aid will be available for those who qualify. And assistance will be provided from the JCEO, CCE, DSS, so just a little bit of people out there that will be providing you service. Let's see. Now it looks like Michelle is jumping into a little bit of technical difficulties. So until then, I'm just going to continue on here with the camp safety rules for Camp Akalaka. So this year, campers will be placed in small groups of no more than 10. We'll be providing hourly hand washing and sanitizing. We'll have social distance activities, which allows the kids to play in the comfort of being socially distant. And then for this portion as well, I'm going to have Abby jump on in, and in case she wants to add anything that I'm missing.
Yeah, just I can introduce myself really quick. I am the CCE Youth Programs Director for Camp Akalaka and for after school programs. I've been part of camp for a lot of years now, so I just noticed that Michelle was absent, and we were discussing some stuff that we wanted to go over, so I'm totally comfortable doing it if Brandon didn't want to, so I just wanted to jump in if that was the case. But
go right ahead. I'll go ahead and I'll present the screen again and we can jump back in.
Perfect. All right, so I know Justin had mentioned earlier that the YMCA has been doing above and beyond a lot of the COVID safety stuff, and we're going to continue to do that with Camp Akalaka. We're extremely lucky to have partnered with the YMCA and to have such a wonderful organization that has implemented all of this. So as Brandon started there, we will have groups, no more than 10, which is one of the recommendations from the New York Forward. We plan to have 8 campers in a group, and which gives us the ability to have 2 counselors when needed, or 1 counselor as a lead counselor for a majority of the day. That counselor who is the lead counselor of that group will remain with your camper for the entirety of their week at Akalaka. This reduces it reduces mingling and keeps the social distancing, at par. We will have hourly hand washing and hand sanitizing. Not only CCE, but the YMCA has also been giving an abundance of hand sanitizer to make sure that that's constant. We have access to multiple sinks, bathrooms, and facilities that campers will have access to wash their hands. Also, those facilities will be regularly sanitized as well. Many of our activities have been planned and created at a social distance kind of make. We've redone a lot of our physical education, our physical activity stuff, our group play, our team building. Camp Akalaka is actually a part of the American Camping Association, so we have the ability to use those wonderful resources, those research-backed resources that do provide social distancing, but also meet the goals of a summer day camp for children. Staff will have masks provided to them and will be required to wear them whenever they cannot maintain 6 feet of social distancing, and also when they are with your campers throughout camp. Campers themselves are not required to wear masks, but we will allow it, we will encourage it. The Department of Health, and the Department of Health New York Forward has stated a few times where wearing masks for youth 12 and under is not encouraged, which is during exertion, physical play, swimming, or eating. So those are kind of the obvious ones. And again, that's kind of up to the responsibility of the families. I'm not sure the amount of access we have to masks for campers. So there's that. And again, we'll be cleaning and disinfecting supplies in between group use. We have come up with a wonderful daily schedule that allows for the social distancing, that allows for very limited contact between groups, and gives us time in between to sanitize anything that may be used, as well as any surfaces. Also have separated pickup and drop off points with designated camper lockers or cubbies so that their stuff also stays separated. So I think I touched on a lot of that, the COVID safety stuff.
Yeah, I believe Michelle has also just tried to join us back. Michelle, I believe I unmuted you if you want to add anything else to the safety portion.
So I would like to say that it's not a successful Zoom call unless there are just a few IT problems. So hopefully that's the only one that we have during this call. Sorry about that. Thanks, Abby, for pinch hitting for me. We are actually, Abby, you did a great job. You covered everything. The only thing I'd add is we do ask that if parents want their children to wear masks, that they supply us with 2 clean masks per day.
Wonderful. All righty. So if we're all good with safety, we're going to jump right into the next slide here. All righty. So for our weekly themes, I'm going to have Donna Studlack, our program director over here at the Malone YMCA. If I got that wrong, I'm sorry. You can go ahead and let us know. You should be unmuted here shortly.
Hi, everybody. I am Donna, and this is really my first year at camp. I'm really excited. I think that we've been planning for some great things. And one of the things that we're doing a little bit differently this year is we've come up with some weekly themes. So each week will have its own theme. The first week will be Independence Week. The second week will be Nature Week. We're having Superhero Academy Week, Pirate Week, Olympic Week, Under the Sea Week, Wild Wild West, and then we're ending with Down on the Farm. So each weekly theme, we've incorporated that theme in our crafts, in our STEM and STEAM projects, in our physical activity, and in our Friday Fun Day. And we're just really excited to start the themes and the weeks with their kids.
All right. We'll jump on into the more things here. So now I'm going to introduce Jarrett Lamica, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the everyday typical things at camp, what to expect, and a little bit more about our different pods we'll be offering this year.
Hello, I'm Jarrett Lamica. I'm the director at Camp Akalaka. This will be my second year being the director. And so this year things are going to be a little bit different than last year because of COVID, obviously. So we are going to make a couple changes. The first being with drop-off. So drop-off will be exclusively from 7:45 a.m. to 8 a.m. If for some reason you need to have a different drop-off time, you would need to communicate with us and arrange that prior to the day that you need it. At drop-off, you will be met with one of our staff members who will do a health check on your child before they are able to enter the camp. You, as a parent, will have to stay outside of the camp. So we will pick your child up from the cars, and then we will bring them into separated areas. We will have 4 specific areas, and your child will be in one of those areas, and we will tell that to you prior so you know where to drop your child off. Then we will move into our breakfast, where we will stay in our group sizes of 10 or less, and we will try to minimize, or we will minimize, the interaction between groups, so they will be in their own areas for the full day. And then we will move into something that is new this year that we that we are really excited about. We're calling them the SPODs, which is kind of like a location for these different pods of learning. So we have a bunch of different ones. We have 5 different ones. So we have Learn It, and Learn It is where we're going to be focusing on our curriculum. And if you had a child go to camp before, you know that you would register for a full week of curriculum each week. But this year we're going to change it up, and we're going to do 1 day of a curriculum per day. So we will change the curriculum each day, and those curriculums will correspond with what the theme of the week is. So every camper will have an opportunity to do every curriculum, and we thought this was a really fun way to make it so that children are more exposed to different things, maybe learn different things about what they might like or what they want to learn about, and we can choose our best parts of each curriculum to really make it worthwhile and focused. We have Play It, which will be our physical activity portion of the day. And again, we will use different activities that are focused on social distancing, but are also allowing the kids to interact in a social atmosphere and in a physically active atmosphere. So Learn It will be held wherever is most convenient for that curriculum for that day. Sometimes that might be inside the cafeteria. Sometimes that might be inside the kitchen, depending if it's a cooking class. It might be outside in a field, or just anywhere around our campus, whatever is most convenient. And then Play It will be held in the Mustangs field across from the Civic Center. Then we will have Create It, which is more of a arts and craft focused pod or SPOD. And that is also, like Donna said, going to correspond with what our theme of the week is. For instance, for Pirate Week, we might be crafting more boat type stuff or things that are related to pirates. And Create It will be held at our pavilion, the Kelly Pavilion, down near the rec park. And then this next one is Splash It / Dig It. Splash It, if you couldn't tell, is more water-based. So unfortunately, for the first couple weeks or so, we will not have access to the high school pool. So we will be doing water-based activities in the field by the Kelly Pavilion, which is down by the rec park. And on days where maybe the weather isn't the nicest, it's not the warmest out, we will be doing Dig It. And Dig It is where we are going to be doing more community service-based projects up at the Memorial Garden by the high school. And we will do things like weeding the garden, making the garden more presentable, and taking care of the garden. And so once the pool is open, Splash It will be held at the pool at the high school. When it's not open, it'll be down at the Kelly Pavilion, like I mentioned before, or the field by the Kelly Pavilion. And then Dig It will be up at the Memorial Garden at the high school. And then our final SPOD is Build It. And Build It is going to be more of a STEM-based learning project learning. And that also will correspond with the week, the theme of the week. And that will be held at the tree out front of the Civic Center. So the way that we will work through our day is we will start off with our health checks and check-ins and drop-offs. We will move to our breakfast, and then depending what squad your child is in, they will move to one of the SPODs that we have. They will go through their first SPOD, and we're going to do an hour per SPOD and then 15 minutes of sanitation after. And then we will move to our next SPOD, do an hour of that, and then 15 minutes after of sanitation. Then we will move to lunch. And then we will do our pickup of lunch, sanitation after it, and then they will have 3 spods in the afternoon. And then just depending what squad they're in, their spod layout is going to look a little different. And then finally, at the end of the day, pickup is going to be a little different also. So pickup will be exclusively from 4 p.m. to 4:15 p.m. And then if there, for some reason, needs to be a change in the pickup, again, you would have to contact us, and we would have to work that out separately. So we will work with that as camp starts. And then, so for some reason the weather is not permitting, we will have the same type of schedule on our maybe our rainy days or stormy days, but we will section off the arena accordingly and appropriately for social distancing, so that each of the spods can be held inside the arena. But if it is a nice day, we are going to try to utilize the outdoors as much as possible. And I think that pretty much covers up our daily schedule.
All right, thank you, Jarrett. We'll just move on along here. What to bring to camp? All right, so this season we are asking all of our campers to make sure that everything is labeled with everything that they do bring to camp. We're asking campers to bring a sunscreen, bug spray, a bathing suit and towel, water shoes or old shoes that they don't mind getting dirty or using out while walking around. Lunch will be provided by Malone Central School District. However, campers do have the option to bring in their own. Donna, do you have a little bit more about the lunch and that kind of stuff that's being provided?
Sure. As Brandon said, breakfast and lunch will be provided by Malone Central School District. You can supply your own, and we ask that it be a nut-free lunch. We have refrigeration available if needed, and you're welcome to send in your own lunch if you want.
Yeah. Along with sending in your own lunch, we are asking our participants and campers to also bring in a snack that they choose. We also ask that all lunch and snacks that you do bring to camp be peanut and tree nut free. We will be checking lunches that are brought in to make sure they are compliant, to make sure we don't have any situations. We're also asking campers to bring a refillable water bottle and 2 label face masks, as we previously discussed earlier in this video. We're going to jump on along here, and I'm going to reintroduce Abby. So Abby, you're unmuted here. There you go.
Hello again. So this year, registration has been done on another online database provided by the YMCA. You can find our registration on our website at campakalaka.org. And on the left-hand side, there should be a menu. You can drop it down and you go to registration. And within there, there's a bunch of links. That link will bring you to Google Docs. Is that correct? A Google Docs form that you can fill out. We do encourage you to fill one out for each camper that you plan to register. And like Jared had mentioned earlier, you will notice that there is no section to choose the class or the curriculum for the week. And that is because we are choosing that for you, essentially, and making sure that every camper gets access to every bit of Learn It that we can provide during COVID. And then there's also a deposit, and Brandon had discussed the cost at the beginning. So it is $145 per camper per week, with an additional $25 discount per registered family member or sibling, excuse me.
I also just wanted to reiterate one of my comments earlier about the face masks. The face masks are not required by the children. However, they are suggested, and if a parent wants to provide them for their child, they can just bring in 2 labeled face masks. And then all of staff that are working Camp Akalaka will be required to wear face masks as well. So we're providing that. Abby, back to you.
I think that's really it. If you would like a paper registration form, or you would like to speak to somebody, you can call the YMCA. 518-483-2354, or you can also call the CCE office. We are located in the first floor of the courthouse, and that's 518-483-7403. We do have paper applications available. It's just simply a printout of the online version, but we do highly encourage you to do the online version as it gives you a little bit more autonomy to complete the form. And that's kind of all I have for registration.
And for those of you who are just joining us now or joined us late, if you do have questions that you would like answered, you can go ahead and submit them in the chat window provided, and we can go ahead and answer some of those. I will also in the chat window be providing you with a Google link to register for Camp Akalaka. Let's see here. And there's the Google form, guys.
Brandon?
Yes.
Yes, okay, I just wanted to make sure I was unmuted. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that camp financial assistance is available, and available through the YMCA, through CCE, and also through JCEO. So if you're interested in learning more about financial assistance, you could call our office at the Y, call our office at CCE, and we will help you out.
Alrighty. All right, everyone. Everyone is unmuted. I don't believe we are receiving any questions at the moment. If there's anything else anyone wants to add.
So we're just really looking forward to the best summer ever. Thank you all. Thank all the parents for trusting us with your children. We can't wait to see them. We have a lot. All of our staff this year are returning counselors from the past years. They're skilled, they're excited, they're qualified, they'll be very well trained before the first day of camp. And thank you. I know the YMCA and CCE has worked so well together in the past, and we can't wait to rock it out this summer.
We actually have one question submitted by a viewer. Someone is wondering if we are able to administrate medication.
Okay, so we do not administer medicine at the camp. However, with a doctor's note, we can store your medication, and your child would then be either responsible for taking the medication themselves, or you'd be welcome to come to camp where you could give the medication to your child. But the staff is not allowed to administer meds.
Thank you, Michelle, for that. Alrighty, so everyone, again, thank you for ever joining. You can go ahead, and this video will be recorded and it will be posted on all of our social medias for you guys to rewatch. Make sure to share this and let everyone know that we're excited for the best summer ever.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.